morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. This is Art of the Round Table. My name is Mello, and I'm going to finish this piece because I want to continue the momentum as I break stuff around. What the heck? Yeesh. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Anyway. Yeah, we're gonna keep going. These are my hero portraits that I'm working on. That's going to be the one we finished today. Well, this morning I'm going to try to do that dude's face. I'm painting in gouache. Trying a little different setup here, which is probably why everything is falling apart. I'll put this here. I'm using this, what the heck is this? Clipboard? Artboard? And I have it on a stand there, so we can look at it at some form of an angle. I think it'll help me. Good morning, DW. How you doing? Do I sound okay? I'm getting a weird echo in my headphones, but let me just move stuff around here. That's the whole mug. So I'm using this. I got it in an angle because sometimes they say, which I think is true, it helps when drawing figures. I've been suffering from really wonky figures over the weekend. I'll show you. Because I draw straight. Wait, what happened? You said Batman watching? Oh. I got a weird lighting going on. So drawing these things. This one here, I'm trying to do bigger pieces. I'm louder than usual. Okay. I'm going to lower that. I got to really up it to my face. Maybe it's because I didn't restart my computer. Anyway. I'm trying to do action poses, or not poses, but action scenes. Captain America here, beating up on some Nazis. But I'm not planning out. I'm just kind of like trying to make it happen, and I'm struggling a bit. But anyway, that was one. And then, of course, because I have Barbarian Mayhem in my head, like I said, I'm not planning these. I'm just kind of, this was the figure, and it wasn't even a Conan figure I was trying to do. I was trying to do an homage to, I think it's Adam or Andy Kubert. He used to draw the Wolverine howling, and his body would be so contorted and just expressive that I wanted to try to emulate that shot. But I drew him really thick. I like it though. I kind of like the way that figure looks. It looks heavy and realistic. So then I'm like, I'll make a Conan and have him beat up on a couple of folks. He's beating them up with their own arm. So I've been looking at all of these, as you already know, the Savage Conan, the Savage Sword of Conan books. These here, and there's always a ton of like full battle sequences with a ton of people in it, and I want to try to do stuff like that. So that was my shot. Yeah, I appreciate the body tilt. To try to do it freehand with no reference, it's okay. I can kind of see it in 3D. I love that tilt. I love that realistic twist of the abdominal, the abdominal one, abdominal, abdominal. I kept adding an extra syllable. You know what? The abs. So anyway, and we're just gonna keep messing. Oh man, I gotta change this music. We're gonna fall asleep before we even start. Whew, that was close. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Enough with the jibber jabber. Tone that down so you guys can see, and I'll zoom in later on. Yeah. Same palette as before. Just kept it closed over the weekend. You can still see how juicy those colors are, man. Those paints. I got so much stuff in my face because of all the social mediums, but I'm taking pictures, I'm taking videos, I'm taking shorts, just want to draw sometimes. All I want to do is art it up. Alright, we'll do the easy part. I think it'll be easy. Famous last words. Here we go. But anyway, I need to get going. I feel like I'm stressing myself out here. That's amazing. You see how it's still active, how smooth. Tell me the web palette's the way to go. All right. Enough. Anyway, how was your weekend, DW? How was the weekend, everybody? What I'm doing here is I'm just working on the highlights, and I'm not really following the original lines I have, even though it's close, because I'm going to feather in my strands of hair. Usually what you want to do is you don't want to draw the hairs individually, but like I said, we do whatever we want. But I just want to get a good base for my highlights, varied, because then I can just go in there with either pure black or really dark blue and start building. Like even these, that's not the darkest we'll go. Watch some Potter and Drew. And Drew Mr. Weasel. That's cool. I I don't think I'm not a very huge Harry Potter fan. Again, those books weren't written for me anyway. Even though I enjoy fantasy stories and stuff like that, I just think that yeah. Oh no, that's all right. They weren't for me, but that's fine. Well done. Every one of those movies was amazingly crafted. So I give them props for that. But do you think that they are remaking it too soon? I think the problem we're having is that Hollywood is not allowing people to feel nostalgia about a movie. Is 20 years enough time between movies? Can you imagine Harry Potter's like 20 years old now? The movie's not the not the character. Yeah, definitely. It feels like a cash grab, but I just feel it's unfortunate that they don't let you just have a bit of memory, you know? Let it linger and let you appreciate it. And sometimes people remember something differently. And as they grow older, it'll feel different or mean something different. But they don't even let you. I'm just playing with shadows here. Shadow and highlights. There's more of a warm glow on the right, so that's all I'm playing with here. Nothing fancy. It just feels so much. Trying to think, even first Star Wars came out 76, is that right? Right? 77 maybe? 77. I can't remember. 78 and 82? Does that sound right? So when the prequels were announced, it was super exciting, but I do not forget the re-releases with the added crap, because it really was crap. All right. But yeah, I think I stopped. I know I've seen all the movies of Harry Potter. I just cannot remember them. And there's certain things that just kind of like blend in. But I think the one that I officially stopped watching was Prisoner of Azkaban, I think. I don't normally do the light so early in the painting here. But I am running off a lack of a good sleep. So I'm just trying something. Hey man, you watch your mouth now. I'll unsubscribe. So, don't get me wrong. I love me the re-releases. I love the special editions. I have them, but the added Jabba scene, don't mind. It wasn't necessary. It was like you said, it was just repeated dialogue, but the singing, the freaking musical number in Jabba's palace in the third movie was not necessary. I did not need to see or hear Frank Oz singing. So, Star Dragons, good morning. How are you? How are you? But I didn't see the re-releases. All right, I'm going to start going in shadows here. And did I tell you guys a good way to do shadows? Try not to use black, right? We have a tendency to believe that if we just use black, it'll be a good shadow color. Not quite. Really good is just using complementary colors. Blue and brown mixed up equally makes a really good gray color. And depending on how warm or cool you want it, just add more blue or add more brown. So, but for this, I'm breaking the rules. Like I said, I'm going in really, I didn't sleep very well. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm just creating a dark brown here. I have to add a bit more blue to my palette. So why don't we do that while we're hanging out? So, Dragon says he's good. The musical number? Oh, man. It's just the lady dancing. We did not need that musical number. Or the lips. That lady singing with the lips. I know the tone. I'm not a hater, bro. I'm in there, bro. One of the best, if not the greatest trilogy of movies, a set of sequels and movies that we'll ever have. That isn't an adaptation of somebody else's work. So, you know, because people will argue, what about Lord of the Rings? Yes, I know, Lord of the Rings is the almost quintessential at this point. But one dude, and maybe Indiana Jones, but we talking. You know what I'm talking about. Ouchie. I want them a bit warmer. I got a mix of jazz all over in every one of my soundtracks. That's a little funky. I am not a hater. I love those movies, man. Speaking of hating on movies, what's up with Mandalorian and Grogu? That movie, nobody cared, huh? Even Disney, because that movie isn't even streaming yet. Hater. You talking to Jabba now? The benefit I have. Pushers up glasses. Well, actually, the films were adaptations. Oh, brother. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. All of them are. Uh, Indiana Jones. They were all his Lucas's love for movie serials, which I think is great. That's such a awesome romanticism of his childhood as a fan of films. What's really cool is when you watch, if you get an opportunity to watch those old Flash Gordons or those old serials, how much it influenced those movies, how much it influenced George Lucas. From the star wipes, the side wipe, all of that stuff. Good stuff. It's still my favorite. If it's on, I'm watching. Here I go again, working from my dominant side. I was you were surprised that Mandy didn't do better, as I thought, as it was best product they can put out in the theater that people would go see, as comic fans love Mandalorian. Yeah. Do you think that maybe it's another one that came out too soon? There's some things that just shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. All I know is I feel weird painting this. Like it's something's off. And I can't quite put my finger on it. And I'm wondering is just if I took too long. Or I'm definitely too tight this morning. So I'm gonna see if I can take it a little slow. See how much I'm trying to use a very watered approach early on to see if I can keep a lot of the detail that I had created with my pencils. Make sense? Or maybe I took too long to realize it and kind of like lost it. But yeah, I am a fan of The Mandalorian. Love the show. It kind of lost me a little bit later on. It kind of felt as if they kind of like lost their way, in my opinion, of course. Did not like at all what they did with Boba Fett, but that's neither here nor there. They can do whatever they want. But I'm interested in seeing it. Was not interested in seeing it in theaters, though. I'm going to add a little bit of blue for some realistic shadow, as if he may or may not be growing a beard. That might age him up too much. I have not watched the Mandalorian film. That's what I'm saying. I've been looking for it on Disney Plus, so I was amazed that they haven't put it out yet. How old are they? During this painting, they're in their early 20s. 18, 19 for him. She's a bit older, 20, 21, that type of age. Yeah, a lot of the tragic stuff happens to them early. And then there's the time jump to when they're older, and then their story begins. Yeah, my cousin Sammy Jr. He was born with a full goatee. So, I'm jelly because it took me many a year, about 30, to grow up proper. If I could even call it proper. I am just using a muted, almost gray, dark gray, blue. For the whites of his eyes. You had a kid that had a full-on. Were you a teacher, or you knew a kid that had? You said you had. Meow. I don't know if that helps. There's a lot of light behind me, so I apologize if you guys can't see some of this. Fellow student. Gotcha. Yeah, when I in school, there was a bunch of kids, same age. They look like the 90210 kids, high school kids. Because all the kids in 90210 look like they all had kids themselves. Not me, though. I wouldn't be able to grow a full, sweet-looking beard and mustache if it saved my life. To save my life. Avoid turning on my fan. It's really warm in here. The crazy range. Some kids look like they're 7, some mid-20s. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Bless you. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Hey buddy, what happened? She woke you up? With her goose call? Nope. You tell him, buddy. Get the heck out of here. Go sell your wares elsewhere. It's not even anybody, it's a stray cat. I'm trying to keep these loose, hopefully. That way I don't have to feel so tight. Alright, I'll come back to the face. Let's do, let's see if we can work on his hair. For the first time, I'm gonna use pure black gouache. Just so you guys can see how weird it dries. If you're into that sort of thing, you weirdos. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna try to do these as if I was inking, so. I don't want it to be too jarring. I might end up having to go over those highlights again with some blue, with some more blue and some grays. I've been wanting to do some inking, so maybe this will scratch that it'll scratch that itch for me. I don't want it to look too, what's the word? I'm not thinking the word stringy is the right word. But I don't want to draw or paint as if I did the individual strands. So you see how it's kind of broken up? What's really cool about gouache is that because I'm painting, and it's always active because I'm painting blue, it'll reactivate some of that blue underneath and it'll blend in. Now, if you wanted to soften this, you can take a smaller squared brush and just moisten it so that is damp. I'm just trying to clean it. I'll show you in a second what I mean. All right. Brush is relatively clean, and it's relatively clean and moistened. So, and you'll know because the bristles are lined up. Now, when as you paint, I'm gonna do it up here, and the moisture dissipates, or you use up all your color. I'm painting on it so you can see. The bristles begin to separate. That's how you know you either need to add more paint or more color. See how they start breaking up there a bit? I'll show you again. So, if I wanted to blend those two, I'm just gonna... And the hardest part is figuring out how much water you want. Some gouache painters don't recommend this, and some do. So it's kind of one of those things. Some people, I think, the ones that don't recommend it to new artists, just because you can muddy up your paint. Because you see how I went over this blue, it began to pull up or remove the pigment. See that there? See how it got wet, almost like watercolor? But a little bravery, you can reactivate some of the other colors and blend them. So that's happening to me because I had too much moisture in my brush. So because it's art, not a science, there's going to be a lot of trial and error to get the look you want. Now, I may be... Old Mel would have been like, I freaking ruined it. Right? Otherwise, Mel, seasoned Mel, is just going to be like, oh, just wait, and I can go back over it when it dries up. Or, tell him Pooford, you grab a thicker, more concentrated amount of paint and re-add it. So that's usually the struggle that some new gouache painters or people that are new to painting who choose gouache will fall into it. Especially if they came in from doing watercolor. Because in watercolor, water's your friend. Yes. No, so what happens is if you're mixing it correctly and the bristles start breaking up, it starts drying out. So then you'll see more streaks and texture. So you could play with all of that stuff. Like, it all becomes this push and pull. But yeah, absolutely, you nailed it. What do you do when you gotta reapply? You ran out of that paint and you can't mix the same color again. Gouache is really forgiving, and I'm never mixing such a formula of paints. Oh, I need 2/3 burnt sienna with 1/3 of blue, and not really. The awesome thing about gouache is that it'll always pull up the one underneath. So if you just get a color adjacent, close enough, it'll look good. Not only would it look good, it'll add an illusion of layers. Man, that guy, look at all those different blues he put in there. Look at all those different reds. How the heck did he do that? And that's the trick, bud. Now, if I really, 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 really wanted that hair to look a little bit... the kid's going to his first, maybe second communion, is adding a bit of this later on. Yes. Is adding some of it. I'm saying yes to use. True, yeah. And people and things aren't solid color blocks. A lot of variations. Yes. So, as that dries, it'll have every bit of the colors that I used. You already see some of the light blue, some of the wash, some of the darker blue, some of the black is in there. And you could keep going back and forth. When this dries, like, you see how even here? That's because I put too much water. I was just trying to mix enough to make these blocks. Something interesting to look at. Before I'm done, I can go back in here with some thicker blues, a little bit of water, and then mix everything in. That expression, it's art. It's an art, not a science. It's so. It really is. One, satisfying. And 100% true. And now the more you add, like I say, all we want is variation. All we want is some realism. Well, not even a realism, some contrast. Like that here is so dark. For me to make this work from later, is to add a couple of unmixed pure blues, just even lighter, because it'll blend into the darker colors. Because dark colors dry lighter, lighter colors dry darker. I really don't understand how that's possible, but that's just how gouache is. Sorry about that. Let me move my microphone. I'm just going to add a little bit of water so I can move this paint around a little bit more. I keep saying my is dry, but what it really is that it's humid. And if you see, I added a bit more water, and now it's very much like a wash, very much like watercolor, and it'll give me all of these different hues. And if I wanted to be clever, yes, humid and dry is two very different things, but it's humid down here in Florida. So it absorbs all of the moisture in the air. I'm going to sneak in some of this warm color in here. And I'm going to let it blend in on its own. For a kid in the Middle Ages, he got some sweet, straight hair, huh? looks like what's her name? Rooney Mitra? Is that her name? No. I forget the actress's name. He definitely got some volume there, don't he? Looking like Linda Hamilton. The drug gets mixed in with his hair lotion. Oh yeah, something, right? It's gotta be something. I had Maybelline back then. He is absolutely born with it. I think the next piece might be their dad. I think that's the next piece I'm gonna do. And I mean, not to sell him short, but he's probably gonna be a generic Conan looking dude. You want to know the nice hair? You want to know the first reference I used for him? Like to the hair and kind of like the, not necessarily the body type, but just something about the attitude. You might laugh. Well, you're either gonna laugh or you're gonna cringe. It's actually two different people, but one movie. And it's, I don't know. I don't even know if I should tell you. But I kind of built it up. So now I have to tell you, don't I? It's a mix between two characters. Maybe you can figure it out. If I tell you the movie. Maybe. Two characters, two actors, same movie. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'm just gonna let that sit. I'm gonna let that percolate. I'm gonna let that percolate. Only in look, not necessarily in character, attitude, or sometimes it be like that. Because we watched The Odyssey over the weekend, yesterday afternoon, which was enjoyable. But can I say people need to relax? The people who said that that was the greatest movie ever made, and this is epic, and it was like, it was good. It was fine. I don't even think it's Nolan's best movie. But I think even Nolan's worst movies are good. Not worst. I don't think he's made a bad movie. But people might say Insomnia might be one of them. Alright, so now I'm just adding, instead of being a little less, I'm doing a less swipey swipes with the brush. I'm doing a bit more for volume down here, as you can tell. But I'm still going to go in later on with some sharper black to give more definition down here. But it won't be a hundo. He definitely looks Spanish though. Alright, so there's been a weird hush over the crowd about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which came out in the mid-90s with the hit single. What the heck was that name of that movie? I'll Die For You by Bryan Adams. I don't know if that's the name of the title. I can't remember the song, but we all slow danced to it. But first model I used for this character was Kevin Costner. He just has one of the sweetest mullets in that movie. Yes, Kevin Costner. The other one was Will Scarlet, who was played by Christian Slater. It's not going to be one of those things where you go, now I see it. It was more kind of like a bit of the side eye, the attitude. I love me some Christian Slater. That dude was great. Is great. And at least he tried an English accent. I want to know if you're going to finish what you started. Giving all Kevin Costner the business. I haven't seen that movie in a while. But when I was going through like the kind of like going through Pinterest to try to get like a mood wall is what you guys call it. You Gen Zers call it. And I saw Kevin Costner there. I think I was doing a search for archers and like their gear, their medieval gear, and he popped up. I don't know whether... Have you ever seen the film with Robin Hood? I grew up on the animated film and Robin Hood Men in Tights. I don't remember... Oh, the Disney animated. Yeah. I loved that movie. Plus, Little John was Baloo. Baloo. And Robin Hood Men in Tights is a freaking classic, man. Did you say Abe Lincoln? It's like, what? No, man. I said, hey. Yeah. So, I'm with you. We're friends again. Tentatively. Yeah, it's really good, that animated film. I thought it was really clever of them to use their characters from the Jungle Book for that movie, but I think it's because they were broke, wasn't it? And they reused animation, uh, Maid Marian Dancing with the Kids is a rehash of, I think it's even the Aristocats and 101 Dalmatians. And maybe even the Jungle Book itself. Because I think 101 bankrupted. I don't think it was successful. I never really liked 101 Dalmatians. Sorry. I never really liked Alice in Wonderland or Pinocchio. I dug Robin Hood and Dumbo. Your boy was crying forever for Dumbo and his mama. That's how I would have loved to see that study. Cause he's so good. Mommy. Him and the sheriff. That sheriff was such a slime, and he had a great voice for being a slime. I know it is. I know. I can appreciate Alice in Wonderland. I really can. As a snot-nosed little kid, not so much. So, sorry. We're back to not being friends again. I'll win you back before the night's over, before the day's over. I was like, maybe not, sir. The wound is too deep. It won't heal. Can I also say? I was gonna say something and then I read your comment I might take it back. But no, man. Mondays for therapy. I wasn't feeling Peter Pan either, man. My Peter Pan is Hook. Oh, man. Maybe because it used to freak me out, man. That kid turning into a freaking donkey. I know that's Pinocchio, but it just felt the same. Yeah. 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 Can I appreciate them? Absolutely. I love the art. I love the way they look. There was, I don't know, as a kid, maybe it was the person that introduced them to me, and I kind of like, I didn't like them. So it translated to the animation, the films. I don't know why, man. Maybe the Cheshire Cat used to freak me out. Pinocchio, the kids, the Lost Boys turning into donkeys. And then, what was the one I said? Peter Pan? I don't know, man. Maybe it was the Gator. Maybe it was a Hook. Maybe they did such a good job and it traumatized me. I don't know, man. It's crazy, right? But you know what? In my defense, if I have a defense, is that I haven't seen them in a while. I wonder if rewatching them will change my mind. Because Cinderella, those old school joints, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, I see them in have them in high regard for the animated form, for the artwork, for that German expressionism that for the backgrounds. There was a Japanese dude also that didn't get no love from doing Disney backgrounds. I forget his name. I'm terrible with names, so I'm sorry all the time. But there's a great documentary on his life and his work. But the Bambi guy. Yes. Yes. The Bambi guy. That's officially his name. That dude his artwork is beautiful. The Bambi guy. And the German dude that did I think it's Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella. That everything is just square. I can't remember. Don't ask me stuff, man. I can't remember. Okay. Friends again? Friends again. Tentatively, still. And that first cut is still healing. I will absolutely rewatch those with an artist, because they were giving, Freeform gives all of these Disney movies, and they were playing Sleeping Beauty. And the sequence when the prince goes through the hedges and goes through the kingdom, it's so well done. Nope, I don't want that. Damn it. Tyrus Wong and Evan Earl. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna see. Ugh, too much water. I'm gonna see if I can find their books. The Wongers. All right, where we at? Sleeping Beauty was a good documentary on Disney Plus. Really wonderful insight, and I love Sleeping Beauty. Was way better than I remembered. Yes. Yes. Alright, we need to work on this contrast here so he can pop. Yeah, I definitely gotta rewatch those for that. And I'll rewatch Alice in Wonderland. Do I have to do the Dalmatians though? I guess. Yeah, you better. Best dog animated dog movie? Rover Dangerfield. What? And the less said about the beautiful tragedy or tragicness of All Dogs Go to Heaven. We definitely will not be needing therapy, so we'll do that. Aladdin? Oh, I love Aladdin. You don't have to tell me to watch Aladdin. I watched Aladdin with the kids. With my kids, they got grown up. They haven't watched it in a while, and they were a little taken back of their dad knowing some of the words to the music. And they, for that, for Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Oh man. Caleb. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, man? Good morning. Trying to keep some of these highlights. Keep this little homie's youthful nature, even though he's a warrior. gonna darken these lips a bit. Well, the cool thing about adding specular highlights that you can do whatever the heck you want, as long as they're in the right place, right? I hate that advice, right? You can do whatever you want as long as it's in the right place. All you need to do to draw a perfect figure is learn about drawing everything. Okay, thanks for nothing. Adding a little bit of green so that green and blue speculars so it'll look like a 5 o'clock shadow. It'll be subtle, but it'll be there. Which is what you want. You want people to go, wait a minute, what is that? Did he really? Did he really? Is this where I get some of the painting stream? Yes, sir. How you doing? Again, I already set up, but what's happening, brother? No, he is. You're talking about the brother. He is born leader, but it's kind of a weird thing. He's a fighter. He prefers to not have to. If he can find a way to end things diplomatically, he will. He's a unifier, but he will fight if he has to. They all do. It's the type of world that you really can't hide from that stuff, unfortunately. But it's never his. It's never the first. They're both really adept fighters. He's, like I said, he's more of a sniper, an archer, so he assesses the battlefield a bit better. Still waiting on art advice that tells me how I can do everything perfectly with zero knowledge and effort. Well, actually, it's everywhere, brother. Unfortunately, I was this morning just having Joe, my wife, and I don't know where it came from. Maybe I saw something on Facebook or something. And Facebook is like it's going through my photos. Turn this into an animated image. Add this to it with Meta AI. And I just looked at her and said, we are porked. Because it's everywhere, man. It really is. It really is everywhere. We know what we're talking about. I don't even have to mention it, but it's everywhere. It's in everything. If you're a YouTuber, you already know. There's a image There's a logo, there's a button right on your main screen that wants to help you with everything. Everything. You know, D-dubs, we joke about that all the time. Every all of these art books, right, that say how to draw any Marvel character, and they'll do a circle. They'll draw the circle, they'll give you the guidelines, and then the next, I'll start over. Step 1, draw a circle. Step 2, draw these divisions. Step 3, add the details, and it's a fully rendered drawing. That lie is what AI, I didn't want to say it, that thing is doing. Yeah. I'm one of those dudes, and I think getting less and less about do whatever. Makes you be a better artist, do whatever you have to do with a clear conscience. Just don't freaking don't prompt something and tell people that you did it. Learn how to do it. Right? Maybe? A little bit? Learn how to do a little bit of it? I think I put too dark a yellow, or too vibrant an orange. So, I'm gonna have to fix this. Yeah, exactly. And that's this. So in portraiture, tell you a little something about portraiture. The little that I know. When it comes to the zones of the face, somebody somewhere said that everything about art is as easy as 1, 2, 3, as a way to remember that almost everything can be broken down into thirds. Thirds of the face, forehead, from the top to the forehead, forehead to the nose, nose to the bottom of the mouth. And in those 3, then you can divide it from here. Anyway, when it came to color for the face, you want more yellowish tones on the forehead, more reddish tones in the center, more bluish tones in the bottom. And knowing that in the back of my mind, I messed up because I added too much of a yellowish tone here. Now, I fear that for me to rectify that, I might have to overwork it. But what's good about what I'm doing is that it's mine. And I can mess up and fix it as many times as I want. But honestly, is that I can at least partake some of this info. And that color scheme is true even for the female face and portrait. Just probably less blue on the bottom, because blue would kind of like, although it's a warmer shadow, it gives that impression of hair. Right. Lighten his nose. You know what's cool though? You mentioned about the circles and the boxes. What's cool about that is being an older going through some of the art stuff and learning how to draw comics the Marvel way, and you go, huh, it was there the whole time. It was circles and boxes. I've learned a lot of things where even though I don't understand everything, I have some guidelines and I can fall back on that. Really help. Yes, a little bit goes a long way too when it comes to fundamentals. You just need a little bit of the basics goes a long way. It really does. And the thing that's frustrating, and I think that frustrates most people from what I see on threads, when I don't even know if they're artists themselves, but the people that call out you already know, is that's not AI, that's not art community, is that they get mad at people that haven't, how can I put it? I'll put it this way. I can drive a car. It doesn't make me a race car driver. And I think for me to go to a racetrack, to go to NASCAR and be like, or go with a souped up car and have that pretentiousness, or just because I have a Mustang or whatever it is that has 600, 700 horsepower, I'm a race car driver. No, I don't think so. Yeah, but I drove here. It doesn't matter. I don't have any of the knowledge, any of the basics of a race car driver. Because we all have an inherent ability to draw something. We really do. We're born with it. You give a kid crayons, hey, draw this, and they'll do it to the best of their knowledge, right? The sun with the smiley face, the trees, everything. So we have that in us. It's when you nurture that skill, that talent, that whatever it is, that desire to keep going. Anyway, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I saw this thing on Facebook. I've been joining a lot of art communities on Facebook. The Montoya, what's going on, bud? And I saw this speed paint process, a video. And I started watching, right? Because we, as an artist, we all kind of like drawn like moth to flame. So I started looking at it. I'm like, man, that looks really good. Wait a minute. That's a weird jump cut. Wait a minute. That's not what And then I started looking deeper into the image and then into the post. It was an AI speed paint. And this is how they sold it. So then they try to make you feel bad. I don't know if this is true or not, and I didn't really care enough to do any research for it because it already made me feel kind of funky about it. Anyway, this is what they say. That the website or the artwork displayed it was like an art group for handicapped people or people with disabilities, I guess is the right word for it, who were using AI to express their artistic creativity because they are unable to do so physically. And I said, well, I guess they'd never seen, what's the movie? The King Gimp? The kid who has, I think he had like cerebral palsy, wheelchair bound, maybe not cerebral palsy, maybe it was like MS or something, that drew with his feet, painted with his feet. But then you can't begin to say one person's disability is the same as another. So then I'm like, I can't. But that's how they get you. That looks pretty good. I almost lost the pencil markings. It's a handsome fella. Do they look related? Well, she fights more, right? That was the whole thing. I gotta turn my fan on. I'm over here boiling. What a different style. I don't want to go back to smooth out her face. I will smooth out this chin on him. I want to make it look like that. I am still trying to figure out where to go with my artwork to make it look consistent. Or do I just want to be able to just do what's on my coconut? Does you look younger than both, so that works? Less like Anakin? Thanks, man. You know, it's so funny. Like Anakin, Monty, he, instead of having the braid, that weird braid, the Padawan braid, he has it here. He has it on both sides, but it's hard to see. So I'm gonna enhance that, fix that, because I like that build. I've been looking at these covers, man. I would love. Can somebody commission me to do about 20 covers? Make a little money, put my name out there. Yeesh, get a collection. Whose leg do I gotta hump? Don't answer that. I don't even want to know the answer to that. I'm sorry I asked. But man. Monty's switching over. I appreciate you, bud. It's a bit more comfortable on this side. I get to see everything. I get to switch up. This needs to be lighter. This is the really cool thing. The one thing that used to kill me with gouache is muddying my work. Going over it and it was because I would use too much water. Again, I'm gonna sell that going to sell that wet palette. But being able to do these tones with pure color, meaning less water, does help. Now I'm going to blend, because my brush was moist, I'm going to reactivate this darker line here that was on his chin. I'm going to blend it out, and it's going to dissipate the further I go, hopefully, because it was too sharp. Soften it up. I think all I have to do is put a little bit more detail in the eyes, and I think we could call it done for him. And then later on this afternoon, when I return, we'll see about painting or at least drawing the next person. All right. All right, let me read the chat real quick. DW says, we gave my niece crayons and she was more interested in putting them perfectly back in the box, as we all are. That's a weird thing about artists. Nurture that. We like to see things in order. Until we don't. He looks great. Appreciate that. Monty switched over. DW says, yeah, how do you plan going about the comic? Like, do you want to do paintings like these? I don't think I'll be able to do paintings for the comic. I think I was dreaming about this, either that or daydreaming, one of the two. The comic is going to be black and white. So I think I'm going through a really weird creative struggle in my mind. The Jedi and the Sith in my mind, the creative Jedi and the creative Sith, are having a duel. They are fighting. Because this is what I want to do. I love this. So I think my chapter breaks are going to be fully painted, while the artwork is going to be black and white. Again, I'm being heavily influenced by these Conan books. Tell you what, man. Anyway, but you see these washes. Maybe that's something that I would do. I got to find a way, because I am having a difficult time trying to figure out where I'm going to go. I want to ink. I want to learn how to do hatching, and I want to know how to do them more comfortably, is what I really want to say. Not so heavy-handed. I don't want to hide my artistic insecurities behind heavy ink or paints. I just want to be able to be creative. So I'm having a fight between those two melds. Those two ideals. Because this is beautiful artwork. Very painterly, right? It's a lot of washing notes. Same book. This one is very line art heavy. I want to get a little closer. Is that as close as I can get? No, geez, okay. Maybe that'll help a little bit. See how tight the line art is? So, I'm in a weird place of where I want to go. And I'm having a hard time figuring out where to study and what lane to stay in. All I know for sure is 100% is that my path is with the paintbrush. And if I try to go ahead and paint every panel, every page, it might be a little bit too much for Mel. Unless I go watercolor, right? Maybe I can do watercolor and do more color style washes. But yeah, right now, it's just, I'm going to worry about penciling it. Maybe it'll just be all pencil. Maybe that way I don't have to worry about so much rendering. I can get it in pencil, put it in a Photoshop or something, and tweak the contrast so that it'll be pencil for ink, which has been done. It's a bit more scratchy. Yeah, the painting the entire thing would be forever. Would take forever. But like for instance, this is close of a cartoonish version of my style. It has my shading, my hatching, and all that type of stuff. I'm a smudger. I'm a blender. I like to smudge and remove with an eraser. So, but if I scan this, change my contrast, change my curves, it'll look like black and white with tone. So I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know. So maybe all of this, what I'm doing now, is just a way to see where it goes. I don't want to rush anything. The only deadline is my last breath, right? That's not morbid at all. And I have all the time until my last breath to get better, to keep studying, to keep figuring it out. But I don't want those needs and desires for a certain look to hinder or put a block in front of what I'm enjoying, which is painting. It's a weird mix, DW and Monty, because for the longest time, this is what I wanted to do. So, and you guys see some of my work is simply a hero piece or a pinup or a painting. So I spent the last 5 years or so heading in this direction. Writing the book the story is kind of like and wanting to finish it. Maybe I can get somebody else to do the internals while I do covers. I don't know. Oh, Isaiah Thomas. Good morning. Good morning from my side of the planet. Give me one hot second. I gotta turn this fan on. So hold on, let me get back. So Isaiah Thomas, he says hi, I say hello. Welcome to the show if this is your first time. I hope you're having a good day. We had a fantastic weekend. What do you guys say? Painting the entire thing. Love the idea of the chapter breaks, getting that pop-up color. Yes, which is very manga. I love manga. Every chapter break, a page or two is in not full color, but be in a wash. Fist of the North Star. I love Fist of the North Star, and the first couple of pages of every chapter is in a reddish wash, which is beautiful. And so maybe that's something that I would do. Handle from this side. Good piece there. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Here, I'll show you some of the other pieces that are attached to it. So, Isaiah, I have two chats, so if you hear me talking to myself, it's because of that. So these are brother and sister for my story. He's on the other side, and that's their uncle. Wow. So what am I doing? So what am I doing with these pieces? That's why it's important for me to continue the painting while I'm trying to study. But it feels like I am, every once in a while it feels like I'm putting a block up to myself. And it really isn't. It's not true. It's just my, the desire burns. The desire of it is what's calling out, and it's I'm hearing it freaking out. So and it's not real because it's mine. That's the one thing that makes me happy about these. They're mine, and I can do whatever I want. But the goal for these pieces is to get my idea on an artboard. This makes it solid. This makes it real, and continue from there. I haven't looked at my story in a couple of weeks because I want to see when I do read it again if it makes sense. I know for a fact some ideas that I had in the beginning of it may have changed. I know they've changed, so I gotta go back and make sure dialogue matches or people didn't appear and disappear. But the core story is all in place. Everybody is where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to be, which I'm happy about. So yeah, man, this is an evolution. This is what's really cool about what I'm experiencing, because I'm not that type of a creator. I am, I don't know the right way or the wrong way. And I could read I could read a book about how to write your own story, how to create your own graphic novel, how to do it. And the majority of those videos and stories go, just start. And it's like, ugh. If I can unlike fast enough. But I get it. There is no right way. There's just a way. And it's how you get there. So, my way right now is just putting them out. Seeing them for me. That does feel like her. That does feel like him. That does feel like their uncle. If I can keep that momentum going, it makes me happy. And it keeps their story alive. Isaiah says, makes sense. The result gives you a good reflection of the process. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's all it is a process. And what's cool about this is I get to share all this angsty bananas with you guys. Angsty bananas. That's not a bad name for a treat. The angsty bananas. Where are you, brother? You can do what Sabo does. Makes a small ash can, like version of the book, all sketched out. Gives you time to think about it. Yes, and I already started that. And started is very loose. So this is what I've done so far. First of all, can I say what I appreciate about gouache? I've been painting this for about an hour and a half. It's already dry. Now, if I start getting all excited and start talking and a little spittle hits it, game over. But it's already dry. Got my sketchbook. Got my little map. That's the main village. That's the village of their rival village where the stuff happens. And then, so what I'm going to start doing is, for instance, page 1, panel 1. Page 1, panel 1 is 10 years ago. And what I'm going to do is one piece of advice that I've heard actually several times over this weekend from a couple of different podcasts from creators and just some videos that some motivation videos about and it's about being consistent and respecting your process. So Tuesdays and Thursdays I don't stream, as you guys know. Those are the days that I was using to actually write and finish up and maybe even do some editing. Now that my writing is done, go through it and start fleshing out. But I already knew that page 1, I just need to figure out how my story's gonna look. But the first image that I have is Pop Dukes. These guys' dad, whose name is Mjorn, M-L-O-R-N, returns. And it's late in the evening. He's walking. He has no sword. He has no shield. It's the end. It's almost twilight. And he's coming home after a long time away. He's not Odysseus in that sense, seeing how that movie messed me up because I'm like, that's similar. He's just coming home, a bit of gallivanting in town. He has finally decided, after years of being the leader and the shield carrier and the sword carrier to his people, that it was time to stop and stay home and live the rest of his life in relative peace, or in peace, as we all do, right? Pursuit of happiness. So, and it was just going to be either, because it's my nature, a hero shot of our dude and his horse, his war horse. Now I gotta learn how to draw a horse. The eyes over here, I think. Big old snoot. Something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. So it was either going to be that kind of American Gothic as a joke, or after looking at all these Conan books, is it going to be a top-down view? Like, so that's really where I'm at right now. I don't have the official. I don't have the director's eye just yet. All I have is the scripter's eye. Am I gonna do like on a cliff or a small little hilltop overlooking his homestead? Big old dude holding on to the reins of his horse. So that's all. That's where I'm at. So that's what I'm going to start doing. So, but it's just that's the process. That's what I'm going to do. And I keep watching Rob, and I keep watching Saboteur, and and Kurt Bruegel, and watching them do this work. And I'm like, don't worry about if you don't know how to do it just yet. Stick figure that some biscuit and put it on paper. Yeah, D-Dubs, you are a, aren't you? Don't I have you as a... Well, I can't do it here. I think I have you as a... Yeah, you're a... What's the word I'm thinking about? I like that dude, Thomas Patilli. I am, but I'm not subscribed to him. Fraudulent. Where am I? Here you are. Isaiah, you don't have to apologize for dipping and dodging, dip, dodge, dive, and ducking. You said the biggest panel you ever worked on would be an intro, noir. You already got me with intro and noir. I love that stuff. Noir style in one of Chuck Dixon's Batman books. Different take on the story building. Isaiah, you a comic artist? Are you a fellow lead slinger? That's kind of cool. I'm going to snoop around. Or just, what am I thinking about? Just on the side, doing your own piece? That's kind of cool, though. So, yeah, where was I? Or do it here. I need to make these, and I'm not spoiling anything. I need to make these shots mean something because we are going to lose Pop Dukes in this. Is it prologue, right? The first few pages, we get to see how loving his world is that he's yearned for before it's Disneyed away from him. And I'm not saying anything outside of baseball. It's just, it is what it is. But I wanted to make sure that it is conveyed, even if there's no dialogue, that he's done. There's no shield. His war horse doesn't even have his saddle. Right? So I got a lot of thinking to do. Because the painter Mel, the cover artist Mel, the hero painter, all I want to draw is this bomb ass war horse in full detail once with our hero. You know what I'm saying? To give you guys this idea, like, wow, that looks cool. Who is that? Let me tell him a story. That's kind of cool, man. You did a small press work in the mid-90s from my end of the country with other people for a few years. That's pretty cool. Your end of the country, where are you from? If that's okay for me to ask. It seems to be the thing to ask. We were at what is the name of that place? I'm gonna keep this. Zen Bao, something. It was at this place eating soup dumplings yesterday. Oh, so good. So good. And here, I don't know if you guys can see that. And the waitress before, on our way out was like, where you guys from? we're so goofy. We're like, Massachusetts? She's like, no. Where are you from? Which I thought was weird. I thought it was weird and cool. So. All right. Let me put this away. Thanks for the link. I really appreciate the link. I'm going to check it out. I really will. D-Dubs, I appreciate you. And Monty says that's a good thing to do. Make something like these paintings to inspire yourself and keep you motivated. Yes. Monty, what's been happening though lately is that I'd rather do these than fan art, which is a weird thing because I'm considering these fan art. So that's my own fan art, which is something that Rob Norton said that I'm like, that's what's up. I said, we was talking about artwork. I said, it felt weird because now I'm doing fan art of my own stuff. And he said, isn't that what we all are doing when it comes to our own artwork? And I'm like, dang nabbit. DW says, you do. I posted the link and thank you. Absolutely. Monty says, it's good to think about the reason for shot angle, like low angle, yes, shows the subject to be powerful. Add a Dutch angle and it becomes menacing or askewed, inebriated, or poisoned or drunk. I got you, bro. I got you. I'm a film nerd too, man. One of my favorite shots in cinema, period, is a one-shot take of a dolly shot. It wasn't even a dolly shot at the time. I think they used either a string or a cameraman. It's Dial M for Murder by Fritz Lang, and it's in the intro. And the camera is going through the city, or it's going through the town. And then it goes into this basement speakeasy all in one shot. It's amazing once you start thinking about it. This was in the 1930s. And that movie's fantastic. With I was going to say Hugh Laurie, but that's not what I'm thinking about. Hugh Laurie is Dr. House. The frick is what is his name? It is Laurie something. He's got the bug eyes. Master. You know who I'm talking about. DW says, agreed with above, thinking about your panels as directing a film. Yes. So now I got to think about what is it going to feel like to me to make, let's say, my dad. If I was to visualize my dad coming home, if you guys know me, that's kind of a deep cut. So, fan of your own work, really awesome. You should be your biggest fan. Yeah, you have to be. But I'm Peter Lorre. Thank you, Isaiah. Oh my gosh, thank you, Peter Lorre. What was it that gave it away? My impression. I am super self-deprecating when it comes to me and my artwork, because all I see is all the mistakes, or I don't see enough. That has changed with me lately, not because I'm full of myself, it's because my confidence has been rising. I've met some amazing people who do not let me. They don't let me say those type of things about myself. My family doesn't. My kids don't. But sometimes we would say, well, they got to be nice to me because they're my family. My kids and my wife are amazing. Are an amazing support system. They will tell me, that's a little skewed. That doesn't look right. So, where was I? The nugget drop from Rob is fantastic. I can't do it with my headphones on. It's close enough. There you go. Single shots are my favorite things. Always so impressive, especially when there are a lot of background actors or things. Yes, so this thing is going through the town, through people. It starts from the top, almost like a helicopter crane shot. You don't see any shadows or anything. It's beautiful. I think it comes out of his window into the town and into the den. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, but that shot reminded me of was beautiful to me. Isaiah says, I thank you first of all for Peter Lorre. You said the Casablanca guy, I had a special edition poster on your wall forever. And then he says he's envious. It's mostly just him and the people who see his stuff at the pub. Yeah, but at least they see your stuff, bro. And unless they like they're too much in the sauce to be like, that looks fantastic. Those early Pioneer films are fantastic. Oh, you like that? It took me a long time to perfect that teardrop. So, what am I gonna do? He's pretty much done. I'm digging it. I'm gonna darken the ear, give him some shadow in the eye color, and then I might be a little bit brighter with specular highlights on the side. And I think we Gucci, guys. I appreciate you. I'm gonna close out soon, but I will be back this afternoon around 4 p.m. And Isaiah, I saw that you are from Western Canada. Welcome. I am from Southern U.S., Florida. So, a little international handshake. And you were saying that it was a quiet place for that kind of book. McFarlane and Travis Charest were in the neighborhood area. Well, that's kind of cool. For the press work you did back in the 90s, that's what's up. That is cool. So, what's time we have here? 30 seconds on this track. I'm gonna let it play me out. I'm gonna finish this on the side. My party peoples, I appreciate you. Have a fantastic rest of your morning, your afternoon. I'll catch you guys in a couple hours. Yeah, man. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. Thank you guys for hanging out. God bless you. Love you. Mean it. And till later on today. I'll draw you later. Bye.